Hello, good evening and welcome to News Central TV. My name is Mazino Appeal. Now the top stories this hour. Mudashiru Obasa reinstated as Speaker of Lagos State House of Assembly as Mojisola Meranda steps down. Also, members of the Rivers State House of Assembly give Governor Fubara 48 hours to present 2025 budget. And more than 40 Al-Shabaab members killed by Somali security forces. Details and more coming up shortly. Come again. Now, Mudashiru Obasa has been returned as the Speaker of the Lagos State House of Assembly several weeks after he was controversially impeached in a move that led to serious contention among the leadership of the All Progressive Congress in Lagos State. Obasa was reinstated following the resignation of Mojisola Meranda, who steps down from the role on Monday. He emerged unopposed following a call for nominations to fill the office of Speaker during Monday's plenary. Lawmakers impeached Obasa on January 13th with his colleagues over multiple allegations, including poor leadership, high-handedness, frequent lateness to plenary, abuse of office, and intimidation of colleagues.
At this point, I think about as your Speaker, and I step down as your Speaker of this great House. God bless Lagos State and God bless you.
Assembly, Lagos State House of Assembly.
Administration of oath of the office of the Speaker on Honorable Mr. Mudashiru Obasa as the Speaker of the 10th House of Assembly. You are elected to swear on the oath.
Monday's events left several of the lawmakers wishing that the proceedings had taken a different turn. Celebrity actor turned legislator Desmond Elliott wasn't alone in his group. They could barely hold back their feelings, even if they had no words to express their emotions. To help us make sense of this, we are joined by legal practitioner and public affairs analyst Tunji Abdul Hamid. Mr. Tunji, you're welcome. Thank you very much for joining us this afternoon. I'm going to go right ahead and ask, what are the political factors that could have influenced Mojisola Meranda's decision to step down as Speaker of the Lagos State House of Assembly? Go ahead.
Good evening. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome.
I think it is you can see the influence of the owners of Lagos State politics. Those who claim to be the leader of the party of the party in Lagos State. Because I believe this is not about the House of Assembly members. It is not about them at all. It's about people outside the parliament that dictated what happened today. It's just a matter of its politics, its game. It appeared they realized the influence of the Speaker Obasa as to what he can do and what he cannot do regarding bringing food into Lagos State. Lagos West is the biggest in Lagos, and they think they realize that, look, if we toy with this particular area, we may be able to we may lose our oath. Bearing in mind that in 2023 they even lost a presidential election in Lagos State, so they don't want to toy with that area. And the Obasa has shown that, look, he has what to hold them, and I think he applied that, and that was what brought him back, in my own estimation.
I'm going to note that your submission there sounds very rhetorical when you say his influence, or they're scared of what he might be able to do. What exactly do you mean? Whose influence? Influence over who and from where?
You know, those of us who are not part of the politics are not thinking about the election. They are thinking about the next election and even the future election, and that's what they are calculating. There is this belief that Agege area, which brings a majority of the votes in Lagos State, is being controlled by Honorable Mudashiru Obasa, and if there's any problem with him, they may likely have issue in that area, and that's what I'm referring to as the influence. So he probably used that one to hook them, and probably he also has the power that be the owners of Lagos, in quotes, behind him. I'm talking about probably he has the support of the president. Nobody would tell me that without the support of the president, Honorable Mudashiru Obasa will be able to do what he has done, and he will succeed.
All right, Mr. Abdulhamid, what does the Nigerian Constitution say about the removal and reinstatement of the Speaker in a State House of Assembly? Does Mudashiru Obasa's reinstatement follow constitutional procedure?
There is no procedure regarding the statement of a speaker or appointment of a speaker. It's just like normal way of appointing speaker. The requirement is for the member to come together, and majorities of votes in support of the person that wins becomes the speaker. There is no any special procedure. What they need to do is just to nominate somebody. If there are more than one, there will be election, and anyone that carries the simple majority becomes the speaker. In this case, we are told that it's only one person, which is Mudashiru Obasa, and probably he has the support of every member because there was no against his nomination. So probably, and I'm very sure those other 32 or so members are not happy about it. It's clear that they were being forced to accept this verdict, and it's unfortunate that we are playing democracy in this manner. A democracy whereby people who are not members of the parliament will be the one to determine who becomes speaker, who become a majority leader, and that is why our country is what it is today. And that is why those at Assembly or National Assembly don't care about the people. They only as long as they satisfy people who claim to be the owner of the state or country, they are okay. Whether or not the majority of Nigeria or majority of the people in their constituents are happy or not, they don't care. They don't even consult them. I'm very sure none of them consulted their member in their constituency to say, look, this is why we're going, this is what happened. I'm not surprised anyway. I saw the trace the last time those people address us, the 32 member or so member, I can't remember the number now. The one that installed Honorable Miranda, I saw it in their speech. They said, we have agreed with our leaders that they should not do it this way. They should not embarrass us. So from that time, I've sensed the fact that this man is coming back, and today he's back.
Now, there was the continued repetition of peace within the APC and within the House regarding Obasa's return. He himself, he told that he would not be witch hunting anybody. And of course, that was also echoed by the former speaker, who's now the deputy speaker, Mojisola Miranda. Now, that said, what does Mudashiru Obasa's reinstatement as speaker say about the power dynamics within the Lagos State House of Assembly?
Yeah, I think they may not be able to see anything. It may seem like they are happy about it, and like I said earlier on, they are not happy. And definitely that pain will still be with them. All those stories are just political statements. There will be victimization. Everybody will suffer for what he has done, the role he has played. And I tell you, it's a matter of time. It shows that the Lagos politics is not being polarized. It's no longer the way it is, whereby we now know that once Baba says something, everybody goes that way. Today, it appears somebody is standing up, and that person has been able to achieve something, and he has opened the eyes of so many other people who cannot do this before now. Honorable Mudashiru Obasa has shown that, look, once you stand up, if you have the capacity, you can stand up to the authority, and then you can get what you are looking for. He has used that. And in our Nigerian politics, once you are able to show your muscle, you are able to play politics of I can take it, steal it another way with it. You can get what you are looking for.
So, Mr.
You are respected as a politician.
Mr. Abdulhamid, do you think that this is the end, though? Do you think everything has simmered down and that's it, and regular programming continues at the Lagos State House of Assembly, or do you see something else in the horizon?
No, the regular program will continue. Definitely it will continue. But like I said, it can never be the way it was before now. That enmity or the mindset of you are against me, you work against me, they will still be there. They will still have that animosity against themselves. But it can never be the way it was before now, I tell you.
Mr. Tunji Abdulhamid, want to say thank you very much for joining us this evening.
Thank you for having me. It's my pleasure to be with you. Thank you.
You're welcome. Now, staying with Lagos politics, the governorship candidate of the opposition People's Democratic Party in the 2023 general elections in Lagos, Abdulaziz Adediran, has resigned his membership of the party. Adediran, popularly known as Jandor, announced his resignation during a press briefing at Liberty Place in Ikeja on Monday, citing what he described as indiscipline and anti-party activities as reasons for his departure. Adeniran placed third with 62,449 votes behind Babajide Sanwo-Olu of the All Progressives Congress, who got 762,134 votes, and Gbadebo Rose-Vevor of the Labour Party, who garnered 312,329 votes. The former gubernatorial candidate didn't disclose the new party he'd be joining, but said extensive consultations would be done before he and his supporters would be pitching their tent with any political party in the state.
Here before you today with a heavy heart but a clear conscience. We have dedicated ourselves to the ideals of democracy, good governance, and the pursuit of a better Lagos. However, it has become evident that the leadership of the People's Democratic Party, both at the national and state levels, has failed to uphold its principles. The persistent anti-party activities, internal sabotage.
We're now going a short break, and when we come back, we'll talk about the Rivers State Assembly crisis. Stay tuned. Welcome back to Rivers State, where the House of Assembly has given Governor Siminalayi Fubara 48 hours to present a 2025 budget to the lawmakers. They made this known during plenary in Port Harcourt on Monday with a motion moved by the Deputy Speaker, Dumle Mo. In his remarks, Amole condemned Fubara's directive to the heads of local government administrations to take charge of the councils, saying it is illegal and against the Supreme Court's decision. The lawmakers drew the governor's attention to the provisions of the 1999 Constitution as
that the House expects you to present the 2025 appropriation bill within 48 hours. 3, that since the Supreme Court, in the judgment delivered in suit number SC/CV/1105/2024, nullified the purported Rivers State local government elections of 5th October 2024 for non-compliance with the Electoral Act, among other reasons, the House will soon commence the process of amending the Rivers State Local Government Law number 5 of 2018 and the Rivers State Independent Electoral Commission Law number 2 of 2018 so that they can be in tandem with the Electoral Act and pave the way for the commencement of plans for fresh local government elections in the state. 3, that your attention should be drawn to the provisions of the 1999 Constitution as amended, the Rivers State Local Government Amendment Law 2023, as well as the judgment of the Supreme Court in suit number SC/CV/343/2024 that prohibits the administration of local governments by HLGAs or any other persons other than democratically elected officials. Number 5, that the House will proceed on a 12-week recess as from Friday, 7th March, but standing committees will be expected to continue statutory functions. Please be informed that our resolutions are geared towards a quick fix to the current political quagmire occasioned by the absence of an appropriation law for Rivers State.
And now joining us to discuss this development, we are joined by political analyst Gloria Harry. Gloria, good evening. Thank you very much for joining us.
Good evening.
Great.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Gloria, 48 hours.
Yes.
Governor must represent the 2025 budget. Is that not too short? What are the potential political implications?
Well, for me, like you asked, if it's not too short, you know, the whole thing is like a scene from a movie set, because we as citizens, apart from being a politician, will expect that these people, as the lawmakers, will come back and really look at the situation on ground and not jump at asking the governor to come and present a budget that he has already presented on January 2nd, a 1.1 trillion naira budget. And, you know, this is March. So definitely expenditures have been made and several other things have been made. So I think in my mind, we are just trying to stir up another round of problems, because if for whatever reason, see the instance in Lagos, for the interest of the people, certain things could be discussed and amicably resolved. If they give the governor 48 hours, they themselves will know that the issue about that defection is already in court. That's another discussion for another day. So tempers are high. What we expect is they come back, they settle down. Let us as citizens or as Nigerians or as Rivers people, let us breathe, because we've had enough of this back and forth in Rivers State. Budget has been passed. What we expect is, what are the things, what are modalities that you put in place to make sure that there is accurate or appropriate implementation of this budget, not for them to say he should come and present, more so in 48 hours. I think they are being unrealistic, because in the governor's broadcast, he said by Friday, he would receive the certified copy of the judgment. And at that point, they will know what to do. So if parties have not received certified copies of that Supreme Court judgment, why the hasty call for him to come and present?
So Gloria, does it seem like he's being hastened so that it seems as if they're asserting some sort of legislative power over the governor? Does that seem like what's happening here?
I think there's a power game, right, where lawmakers will need you to come, you know, and he already has commenced commissioning of projects today. Today he went to commission the government house staff quarters today, and it will run till next week. So they already know that these things have been lined up, and there are projects for the betterment of Rivers people. The government house staff quarters, beautiful edifice that will benefit the staff working in the government house. So for the interest, that's why I said, if not for anything, because of Rivers people, they should give peace a chance. Let us breathe in Rivers State.
So, Gloria, how do you think Governor Fubara is going to respond to this challenge? Could the situation impact his political capital?
Well, like I said, he had already said yesterday during the statewide broadcast that every decision, every action would come after he receives the certified copies, and his lawyers will advise him. And I think that's the best method or the best process to take. And also, let's be mindful that there are processes, like I said. The governor knows about the
Well, unfortunately, I think we've lost connection there with Gloria Harry. We'll try and bring her up in subsequent bulletins, perhaps. I'm being told that Gloria is back with us. Gloria, we lost you there for a second. You were in the middle of a submission. If you would continue.
Yes, I was saying that the governor already said that he would respond to everything, the outcome of the judgment. So I was saying, I don't know if that's where I caught up, but I was saying that yesterday during the statewide broadcast, he, knowing that he had to obey the courts, he immediately ordered the local government chairman to hand over to the HLGs. And here the lawmakers are saying it is also illegal. And we know that there are two instances where such things could be arranged, either when there's a political crisis or when there's transition. In this case, there's political crisis. So are they expecting the local government to be in a state of comatose? So, everything is about, I am lawmaker, I have the power to summon you. If you don't come before us, we can do whatever we want to do. But they should remember that even in Lagos State, they had issues, and they were able to resolve these issues. So why can't we resolve these issues in River State without the people suffering for it? Because it's us, the masses, that are going to suffer at the end of the day. Allocations are not coming, so how would salaries be paid? Have they thought about those things? No. But it's all about the governor must come. If the governor is not free to come before them, then maybe it's a big problem. But they are going on recess. So who are they trying to fool?
Well, Gloria, with everything that you said, it seems like as if the governor and his camp seems to be capitulating. It seems like he's boxed in. Do you agree?
Well, today he said he's willing to pay the supreme price for the sake of Rivers people. So I don't have the interpretation for that. And I can't also say that they are boxed in because, I'm not a lawyer. I don't know the implications of what they said, but I'm speaking as a politician. Now, if, like I said earlier, their own defection case is in the courts, what if it turns out that the Supreme Court that has asked them to return at the end of the day also says, okay, you've defected, there was no problem in your party, and because of that, you've lost your seat, then what happens? You understand? So that's why I'm saying that we have several court cases pending. So we don't know how it will swing. Nobody knew that today local government elections will be nullified. Nobody knew because people took the pains, they went, they campaigned, and they did everything, and they were sworn in. And after 4 months or 3 months, they're asked to vacate office. So, everything is just modeled up in such a manner that we can't predict what will happen tomorrow. And we can't also say this part, whether the lawmakers are boxed in or the governor is boxed in. No, it's about what the law says. Right now, the law has said because the 2004 appropriation bill was not presented, everything that came from that process, including most especially the elections, should be nullified. They are the learned ones. They know why they did that. So now we're in 2025. So we don't know what their rulings will be concerning the pending cases. So I can't say the governor is boxed in. I can't say what he will do tomorrow, but all I'm asking for is for the parties to think through whatever they want to do, especially the lawmakers, before they make any hasty decision.
Gloria Harry, I want to say thank you very much for joining us this evening. Your points are duly noted.
Thank you very much.
More news now. The national president of the Miyetti Allah Cattle Breeders Association of Nigeria, MACBAN, Othman Ngalzame, has called on farmers and herders in Plateau State to do all within their powers to ensure the relative peace in the state is sustained. The MACBAN president was speaking in Jos, Plateau State, while fielding questions from journalists on security issues in the state after the inauguration of the new executive chamber of the association. Our correspondent Chizoba Anyonwe tells us more.
The Miyetti Allah Cattle Breeders Association is a household name, being an umbrella body of all the pastoralist groups in Nigeria. Noting that one of the major causes of violent attacks in Plateau State in the recent past has been farm destruction by unguarded cattle, the national president of MACBAN says peaceful coexistence is paramount. His visit to Plateau State further seeks to address this cause.
Allowing animals to stray into people's farms to make farm destructions. We don't like that, we don't condone it, so wherever we find ourselves in a particular state, we ensure that after introducing the leadership to the government and the security agencies, we'll also extend our hands of fellowship to the leadership of farmers across the state. And not only that, and to all other non-state actors that are working to ensure security in the state.
He's optimistic that after his meeting with the governor of Plateau State, the new executive will enthrone measures that will further sustain the existing peace in the state.
Plateau is relatively peaceful now. So we are here today, we have a new leadership here today. After the inauguration, we will hand them over to the executive governor of the state so that they will be working hand in hand in order to sustain the relative peace that we have and in order to improve it.
While calling on members of the organization to remain peace-loving, members of the press were also urged to remain objective in their reportage of security issues.
I want to use the medium to call on the press. They should stop generalizing things the way they used to generalize issues. If something happened, immediately somebody's being killed or something bad being happened, they'll just say Fulani. Just Fulani before investigation.
When stakeholders join in one voice such as this, there are no doubts that Plateau will sooner than later return fully to the home of peace and tourism it's been known for. In Plateau, for News Central, Chizoba Anyuwe.
Agriculture experts have called for more investment in climate-smart agriculture to boost the nation's food security drive. This was as experts met with the Vice President of Nigeria and Chairman of the Presidential Food Systems Coordinating Unit during a one-day workshop on agriculture and food security in the country. Our correspondent, Joshua Marai, reports.
The workshop, which was held in Nigeria's federal capital, Abuja, aimed to validate findings from the Agriculture and Food Security Survey, an initiative led by the Nigerian Bureau of Statistics to generate agriculture-related data for policy and program development. It also served as a platform to engage stakeholders, including private sector actors, to refine and align strategic initiatives for strengthening the country's food system. Speaking at the event, Nigeria's Vice President, who was represented by Special Advisor on Special Duties, urged private sector investors to prioritize investing in digital solutions that will boost food security.
We recognize that a market-driven approach is the only sustainable pathway to achieving long-term food security. This is why our policies and programs are designed to support competitive, private sector-led agricultural growth, ensuring farmers and agri-businesses can operate in an enabling environment and foster innovation and growth.
The Statistician General of the Nigerian Bureau of Statistics, also represented, assured of the Bureau's commitment to providing quality and reliable data to guide policymakers for economic prosperity.
At NBS, we are already partnering and collaborating with both government agencies and development organizations to improve the availability of agricultural data within the policy-making space.
The Vice Chairman of the Nigerian Economic Summit Group, represented by the Executive Director of the National Center for Legislative Reforms, called for urgent action to fix the nation's food system.
There is need for us to declare a state of emergency because this state of emergency ought to have been declared about 2 years ago. From the data from the international communities, we are running to food shortage as at 2022. So this is even coming too late, but this is very important at this moment. No time is late. The action must start now.
Experts at the event called for the strengthening of public-private partnership to advance Nigeria's food system. They say this will ensure sustainability and long-term agricultural transformation. In Abuja for News Central, I am Joshua Imarai.
Now, digitization has been recognized as a key driver for transforming Nigeria's energy sector. Stakeholders across the energy ecosystem are rallying behind this transformative approach, recognizing its potential to revolutionize the nation's power landscape. News Central's business correspondent Perpetua Fasami Peter had a chat with some of these experts and filed in this report.
Nigeria's energy sector faces numerous challenges evident in frequent national grid failures, inadequate power supply to consumers, and aging infrastructure. However, players in the industry argue that efficient energy generation, distribution, and consumption can be achieved through digitization.
What we're looking at is a situation where you can use technology to detect when the national grid is about to collapse.
AI will do, right? It's pretty much machine learning. The machine will mimic the brain, and it would actually learn and observe what are those things that trigger, right, the grid collapse. And so we're able to collect the data, but it won't just collect the data, it will not only be able to provide the information, but because we're going to be able to put smart equipments, right, across the grid or along the grid, it will also prevent the grid collapses.
While the adoption of advanced digital technologies could improve grid stability, the question remains, can it compensate for decades of underinvestment and outdated infrastructure? Meanwhile, heartbreaking reports continue to emerge of Nigerian hospitals struggling to keep the lights on due to soaring electricity costs, while the repeated collapse of the national grid has left over 60% of businesses reliant on self-generated power. Is there a way out?
No, I think we're just struggling with a mindset shift, right? Most people see electricity supply as a NEPA activity. NEPA is government, and everyone feels they need to get their own share from the government. You know, this product is a commodity that needs to be paid for.
I think it's something our health institution should start looking at, a way of getting themselves off the national grid by creating alternative energy sources for themselves.
I think people that should be on the grid should be industries. Where you go in the world, you pay a lot of money to be able to access consistent power. And so if you keep our people, we consumers, on the national grid, it is subsidized. There's no way government can generate money to be able to change or replace those aging infrastructure. It's utterly impossible.
Ultimately, while digitization holds promise for improving Nigeria's energy sector, it is not a silver bullet. Without critical investment in infrastructure and a clear strategy for energy management, challenges like unreliable electricity supply and grid instability will persist. In Lagos, for News Central, I am Perpetua Fasami Peter.
Coming up, more than 40 Al-Shabaab members killed by Somali security forces. Details of these and more coming shortly. Stay with us. Welcome back. Now, Somalia's national television is reporting that more than 40 Al-Shabaab fighters have been eliminated in a successful operation. A statement from the Somali army confirmed that the mission, conducted with the assistance of international partners, took place in the Biya Cadde area of Hirshabelle. The army announced on the social media platform X that the National Armed Forces, along with international allies and vigilante groups, will continue their effort to eliminate terrorist threats. Somalia has been plagued by insecurity for years, with main threats emanating from Al-Shabaab and other terror groups. In a call for unity, the president of the Pan-African Parliament, Fortune Cherumbira, has urged African leaders to come together to tackle the continent's enduring conflicts. Speaking in Johannesburg at the memorial service of the late Namibian President Samu Njoma, Cherumbira emphasized that the solution of Africa's challenges does not lie in seeking assistance from Western nations, but rather in fostering solidarity among African nations. Cherumbira invoked the legacies of iconic liberation leaders such as Julius Nyerere, Samu Njoma, and Kenneth Kaunda, reminding today's leaders of their responsibilities to uphold the ideals of independence and self-determination.
The moment Africa will become united, we will not be victims of most of the things that are happening. But they know you are divided. Sorry, I have to say this. I go to the AU, and I know former chair, Madam Zuma, is aware of these things, former minister of Dereko. You go to AU, ambassadors, foreign ministers, heads of state. Look, we don't stand together. When you are in those meetings on difficult issues, you go out and call Macron and say, bonjour, President. Bonjour, comment ça va? Bonjour, yes, my country. What stand should I take? What should I say on this issue? Told by Macron. And the same people come and praise. These are people, if they are the ones today, him and Yereres and Yaras and you know the list, I can't go to that list. If they were to go back to that AU in Addis Ababa, in that chamber, and deal with the issues, Africa would be better. Today we don't have the quality and the competency of leadership on this continent of people like him. Please, may he so rest in peace. Thank you.
Now, still ahead, French Foreign Minister urges Europe to strengthen defense amid Euro-Russia tensions. Details after the break. Join us. Welcome back. Now, the French Minister of Foreign Affairs, Jean-Noël Barrot, warned on Monday that the threat of war in Europe has never been higher, citing Russia's imperialist ambitions, particularly in Ukraine. He emphasized the growing risk of conflict as the front line continues to move closer to Europe. Barrot called for increased pressure on Russia to bring President Vladimir Putin to the negotiation table and end his aggression. He also praised a recent European summit in London, which highlighted the need for Europe to strengthen its own defense and security. Barrot outlined France and the UK's proposal for a one-month truce in Ukraine, focusing on air, sea, and energy infrastructure as a way to test Russia's willingness to end the war. He expressed cautious optimism for dialogue between the US and Ukraine despite recent tensions.
Jamais le risque d'une guerre sur le continent européen, dans l'Union européenne, n'a été aussi élevé parce que depuis bientôt 15 ans, la menace ne cesse de se rapprocher de nous. La ligne de front ne cesse de se rapprocher de nous. Et c'est pourquoi la France, le président de la République, dit depuis 7 ans maintenant que nous devons relever notre défense pour dissuader la menace. Ce à quoi nous assistons aujourd'hui, ce à quoi nous avons assisté hier à Londres, c'est le réveil de toute une partie des Européens qui refusaient de voir la réalité des choses.
The National Bureau of Statistics recently finalized the rebase in Nigeria's GDP, and which affected the customer price index, effectively reducing Nigeria's inflation rate from 34.8% in December of 2024 to 24.48% in January of 2025. Now, inflation rate is also expected to further drop to 23.4% by the end of this quarter. Business Central, or News Central's business correspondent, Chanum Dabeng, speaks to market goers and sellers of food costs.
The sweltering heat is not the only thing putting pressure on Nigerians as they continue to feel the heat in every single price increase in the cost of goods and commodities. Despite an availability of food, Nigerians are finding it hard to keep buying things in the same amount due to the high inflation that we currently have in Nigeria. So it continues to put pressure on their respective incomes and continues to erode their purchasing power.
Despite a drop in the CPI, several experts have remained skeptical and have questioned if the rebasing will truly reflect the real troubles Nigerians are facing, and describing the reduction as a mere illusion.
As a consumer, actually, it has not been a palatable situation. The condition of items in the market, it varies depending on the item you want to purchase. Some are still on the higher side, while some reduce slightly in their cost.
According to Igwe, there have been consistent fluctuations in the price of market goods like grains and vegetables. However, non-consumables have stayed the same. Meanwhile, the price of commodities like onions and tomatoes have seen a slight drop.
Dana sai naira 335 muke sawo shi iso na kudin moto. Yanzu kuma ana iya sai ne 130, 120, 100. To sun samu ragi da ana sai naira 5,000. Yanzu kuma na sai 2,500, 3,000, 4,000.
For I da buy 150, 120. I da sell 125, 130. Now it's 40, 35. I da sell 45, 50. It's very expensive now. Before, they say they buy 60, 70, but now it's selling 110, 120.
According to economist Joseph Ago, although the rebasing was necessary, the government still has a lot to do to achieve price stability.
The rebasing helps the people in government. It really doesn't address the concerns of the average Nigerian. And when I say average Nigerian, these concerns, I'm skeptical because the conditions many of the drivers of the current inflation surge are still very strong within the economy.
Despite predictions by the African Development Bank and the International Monetary Fund of a further drop in Nigeria's inflation rate, the major inflation drivers are still yet to be addressed. Issues like insecurity, FX fluctuations, cost of cross-country transportation, and energy are still a major issue. Reporting for News Central Lagos, I am Chamun Dabeng.
The crippling burden of external debt continues to devastate the world's poorest nations, particularly in Africa, prompting a coalition of former African leaders and 7 ex-heads of states to advocate for urgent debt release. Now, they propose a new collective initiative mirroring the 1990s HIPC program to alleviate economic distress. Oladipo Ajayi, head fixed income and FX, Chapel Hill, Denham, shares his view on a new program modeled after HIPC initiative on Business Edge.
When you look at the overall good of this policy, it sounds great if you can actually get investors to actually toe that line. Imagine what happened in Ghana. If Ghana has been able to get, maybe fall within this bucket and they are able to get this level of reprieve, maybe one way or the other, they won't be in this current situation where they found themselves. Look at what happened in Zambia as well. So I think it's actually very good, and that's one of the reasons why African leaders are actually looking at a way to actually lobby most of these African countries into these buckets, because the end goal is to actually get to a level where servicing debt will not be so much like a burden to most African countries, because as we see currently, it's more like a burden. In 2020, there was a report around the fact that about Nigeria and maybe about 26 other countries, the cost of servicing debt in that year is more than the new finance that actually came into the economy. So one way or the other is becoming more like a burden, and we are seeing it clearly that what that will also do is put pressure on the currency of the country, and that's exactly what's been happening in the African environment in the past years. So getting to actually resolve this issue through this channel, through HIPC, I think it will be a very good one. And the end goal is that I hope then that African leaders will not be able to utilize these funds appropriately. I mean, funds that they would have actually used in the first place to actually serve debt. Maybe they will now be able to use it to actually do a better thing for their people.
All right.
Sports now. Nigeria will host the 13th ECOWAS Africa's Wrestling Tournament from March 6 to 8, 2025 in Abuja as part of celebrations marking the 50th anniversary of the West African regional body. In collaboration with the National Sports Commission, the event will take place at the Velodrome, Package A of the MKO Abiola National Stadium, bringing together elite wrestlers from across West Africa. NSC Chairman Malam Shehu Dikko and Director General Honorable Bukola Olapade expressed confidence in Nigeria's ability to organize a world-class tournament, emphasizing the nation's hospitality and commitment to sports development. The championship aims to strengthen regional sports ties while further positioning Nigeria as a premier destination for international sporting events, reinforcing its growing influence in African sports. Nigeria's under-20 team, the Flying Eagles, have embarked on a 9-day break following their 2-match tour of Côte d'Ivoire. The squad led by coach Aliou Zubairu will reconvene in Abuja on March 10 to continue preparations for the 2025 Africa Under-20 Cup of Nations. During the trip, Nigeria won the first match 2-0, while captain Daniel Bameyi converting a penalty and Divine Elise doubling the lead. However, the Young Elephants responded with a 2-0 victory in the second game at Stade Félix Bleu while the Flying Eagles will compete in Group B alongside Egypt, South Africa and Morocco, with the top 2 teams advancing to the quarterfinals. All 4 semi-finalists will qualify for the FIFA Under-20 World Cup in Chile, set for September 27 to October 19th. And that's all this hour. But before we go, let's take another look at some of the major stories. Mudashiru Obasa has been reinstated as Speaker of Lagos State House of Assembly as Mojisola Miranda stepped down. And members of the Rivers State House of Assembly have given Governor Fubara 48 hours to present 2025 budget. And we also told you that more than 40 Al-Shabaab members have been killed by Somali security forces. Remember, you can watch News Central live on DSTV channel 422, Star Times channel 274, Evo TV, and of course on YouTube. Many thanks for watching. My name is Mazino Appeal.